began about 10 months ago when this evil man committed some horrifying acts, and now the ghosts of his past were catching up to him.
She's got one entrance right here, and then exit here. Another entrance here, and an exit here.
The deeper they dug, the clearer it became. This was a planned act of evil, and the final revelation would leave everyone speechless.
Whatever happened is serious.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it gotta be serious because I'm sitting in front of y'all.
Today, right here, you look like a monster.
On March 18, 2017, around 1:03 a.m., after a tense 911 call from the neighbor from Lincoln Avenue Northwest that reported gunshots on the street.
I didn't see anything. I woke up, it was like at 1, and I heard 4 shots.
Okay, so all you heard was 4 shots.
Yeah.
Did you look outside at all?
Yes, I did.
Did you see anything?
I didn't, and I just saw the light off.
Okay, but you didn't see anybody running, you didn't hear anybody screaming, you didn't see any cars driving by or screeching out here?
I didn't.
When the police in Grand Rapids, Michigan, were called for a welfare check on Lincoln Avenue Northwest, none of them were prepared for the true horrors that they were about to encounter.
1655, start AMR.
Officer Adam Host walked out of the car to witness a disturbing sight that awaited him in the middle of the road.
1655, start code 1. Send us more units as well.
Heading closer, he saw an unconscious woman clad in pink and white.
10-4. Hello, hey! Can we roll them over?
Hold on, let me get some gloves on first.
5-2 will be en route to 1655 Scroll.
It's female, isn't it? I'm gonna hit the spotlight, Mike, so we have light. Because we're not gonna be able to keep our lights on. Here you go, Mike. Yep. Okay. Oh,
Desperate to help the lady, detectives waited for other officers to arrive. But first, they had to seal every corner of the area. At this point, they noticed a freshly made drink spilled across the sidewalk near her body. Notably, the ice cubes in the drink had still not melted, suggesting that the crime was recent and the killer couldn't have gone far away. But with some deranged motives in his mind, anybody could be his next target.
got it, Paul. We don't have a Paul, do we, Mike?
Other units en route, I was on TX and unable to copy. 754 and 1653.
Dude, I got nothing, Mike. Get it?
95.
Block that street there. I need it. It says blocked up here, too. It's gonna be a K. I'm gonna start getting these units everywhere.
By this time, additional officers had arrived at the scene.
If we could just get the monitor hooked up or see if there's any signs of life. That would... You all bloody, Adam? You all bloody? Oh, no, you got gloves off? Okay.
She's still alive or no? Oh, she's not?
Unfortunately, the victim couldn't survive the gunshot for long and had passed away. This had quickly turned into a homicide investigation.
I think you can go down.
Where's the body still down there?
I'm assuming so. I don't think anybody's moved it yet.
Next, the detectives tried to gather evidence from the crime scene of what possibly might have happened to this unsuspecting lady. But when they took a closer look at the victim, what they saw was a familiar face.
You know who the victim is?
Laurie?
What?
Laurie? And it's Laurie Lundenberg.
The woman was identified as 50-year-old Laurie Lundeberg, who lived in the same neighborhood. The detectives knew about Laurie owing to the many domestic violence reports involving her son that had brought them to her doorstep several times. Fearing the worst, detectives tried to understand the pattern of her wounds, seeking a clear picture of the events that had occurred just hours before their arrival.
Where's she hit at?
She's got one entrance right here, and then exit here. Another entrance here, and an exit here.
The brutal violence on her body was clearly visible. She was shot thrice, one in the face, another to the arm, and the third one had entered the armpit, piercing her lungs, ultimately taking her life. They examined her belongings to find out if the homicide had anything to do with a possible robbery.
And it didn't appear anybody had gone through the victim's backpack or pockets or other things. It wasn't anything obvious that you could tell that she may have been robbed, that this is a robbery gone bad, anything like that.
Now, to find the killer, they began interrogating the neighbors who had witnessed the gunshots, hoping to learn something that might have caught their attention.
There was an incident. Did you guys hear anything? Okay. The gunshots woke you guys up?
I heard the gunshots. I was awake. I was like, I'm on Facebook. And I'm
okay.
And we are West Siders, and I'm like, is he dead?
Doesn't look good right now. Okay. Yep. What did you see anything?
I didn't look outside. All I heard was about 6 gunshots.
6 gunshots. How close?
I mean, right obviously, right on Brian.
Okay. Was it this one house here, guys? Or is it apartments?
It's 2 apartments.
Okay.
Everything going, so we don't have any information.
This is our place. We didn't really see anything. All I heard was the gunshots.
Yep. Okay, if you guys think of anything or if somebody else saw something, please let us know. Thank you. All right.
The killer seemed to have escaped before anybody could notice. But no crime is perfect, and therefore the detectives commenced their research to find the smoking gun.
She's dropped here. Well, if we can confirm she was walking northbound, then it would have definitely came from the street, I would think.
It's gotta be that way.
It's gotta be, yeah. Her pop fell that way.
You can kind of tell sometimes just by glance at, the distance of the shots, if they're real close or not, point blankish. But our initial response wasn't easily to figure out where she got shot from.
Neighbors couldn't identify the killer, but even the slightest clue from Laurie's body or the crime scene could lead the police in the right direction. Even the tiniest clue could lead them to their suspect.
So I'm gonna walk from here. Yeah, so when we're walking, we're looking, here's like this. So we're looking for casings to see if they missed, if they hit cars, trees, anything like that. So there'll be like bullet holes, broken glass.
No, you can stay in the alley if you want to start checking around that alley for casings or anything. See canines here, but yeah, but we got nothing. It's that dead lady, so we don't have any casings or nothing.
Detectives could not find any evidence of the gun that had shot through Laurie's body. However, a dark alley right beside Laurie's house concealed a shocking discovery, something that could lead investigators straight to their suspect.
Kind of old, but there's foot tracks going this way. I don't know how long that girl's been laying there.
I mean, these have to be fresh, right? The slush hasn't gone back into the print.
That's what I would think too.
What's up? Why, what's wrong, Phil? What happened? There's a bunch of rifle rounds? They're live?
What's
It's really strange.
The live rifle rounds found right outside Laurie's house were a huge revelation. Detectives suspected that the killer might be hiding inside Laurie's house. Soon, officers from the investigative unit surrounded the house and gradually made their way toward the entrance.
Okay, you ready, Shepard?
Yeah, you want it?
Yeah. You got a light. Are you ready?
Have the number, please.
Go.
Okay, thanks.
Well, we want to get on that other side, right? Go. Is that our house right here? Is this our house? Okay, let's get on the front side over here.
Oh, that's one.
Keep your hands up, please.
A woman came out of the house, which we knew Laurie lived at.
As the woman emerged from the house, detectives called out to their presence. They asked her to raise both her hands to check if she had any weapons, as anybody inside the house could be a suspect.
Can you keep your hands up? Thank you. Why don't you walk down off the porch for me, please, keeping your hands where they are? You can come towards me. Walk right over toward my light.
All right, so you can stop right there. That's fine. Okay, is anybody else in the house? What, do you live with anybody else?
Yeah, my mother, but she's at work at the moment.
Okay, what's your mom's name?
Laurie Rutherford.
This woman was Laurie's daughter, Phoenix Lundeberg, and it seemed like she had no idea about her mother's death.
We didn't want to tell her right away that her mom had been killed out, a yard away, right? So that's the challenge of trying to, hide the truth a little bit from them, because you don't know what their intention is, or maybe they could be a suspect.
But Phoenix was just one of the people who lived inside that house with Laurie. The cops had to make a note of everyone, as they all were potential suspects at this point.
Your roommate?
Me, my brother, my mom, and my roommate.
Okay. Your brother not home?
No, I have no idea where he's at. He's with a girlfriend somewhere.
Okay. How old is he?
The detectives couldn't take anything at face value. They needed to verify if there was any threat, or if the killer was hiding somewhere in the house.
1551, your number is going to be 20.
Okay. We'll just, I tell you what, just step right down to the sidewalk for me.
We want to clear that house to make sure that there's no other victims or no other potential suspects in there.
Police department on the outside, show us now. Come on out, talk to us. Okay, police. The ground.
You're saying Monte's upstairs. Okay. A friend of theirs been with him the whole time.
So, police department, keep your hands where I can see them. You're fine, dude. You come on down. Come on down, man. You're good. You don't got any weapons on you, right? Okay. Just keep your hands on your head. Don't reach your pockets. You'll be good, all right, man? Just come on down with me, bud. Anyone else upstairs? Okay. Come over here with me, bud. Go right behind me.
Phoenix's friend's behavior was unsettling. This made the detectives suspicious about his involvement in the case.
It was a really odd situation in that house. It really was strange the way they came out. So it does make your, the hair on the back of your neck stand up a little bit, like, oh man, is this the shooter? Like, did he have any, involvement?
They let him out of the house and began questioning both him and Phoenix in separate police cars.
I'm just running them and getting this information down.
Cool. Okay, got you.
You on probation or parole or anything? When was the last time you were arrested?
Not many these scenes.
Yeah. Not very comfortable, are they?
Yeah, I'm not. Bring these in. 5 shots.
So you heard 5 shots?
5 shots.
You guys didn't look outside or anything?
No, not at all. Listen, they were all shocked.
After speaking with him, detectives realized that in reality he wasn't completely unaware of the gunshots, but just didn't seem to be directly involved in anything. With that in mind, they shifted their focus and turned to Laurie's daughter Phoenix for more answers.
They put us each in a separate cop car. The detective came in to talk to me, and he was like, do you know why you're here? I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, it's your mom who got shot outside. And there was like a whole 2 minutes I don't really remember.
Police quickly ruled out Phoenix and her friends at the residence after verifying their whereabouts.
And who are the other 2 people that were with you?
Actually, my
Brother's best friend. How long have you lived over here? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like half asleep. I came home around like midnight.
Okay. It's 2:14 in the morning. Were you hanging out over here with your cousin on the west side, or?
No, I was hanging out with my cousin over out in Wyoming.
Gotcha.
I locked the door and went upstairs and roommate.
I've been out here on calls before, and the last time we went was the younger son, the 18-year-old son that was the aggressor in domestics.
Meanwhile, Laurie's son, Larson Lundeberg, was identified as the prime suspect in the crime. He had previously been confronted multiple times by the police because of Laurie's complaints against him regarding domestic violence.
Her brother?
Always doing domestic assaults.
Yeah, I've been here too.
Yeah, I recognize her name. If it's gonna be anyways, it's gonna be the brother.
Sure.
He's super crazy.
Is he?
Yeah.
After a few minutes, Larson casually arrived at the house, unaware of the troubles awaiting him.
There's just an incident, man, right now.
Does it have anything to do with you?
No, but we just want to make sure that you didn't have anything to do with it, okay?
This was the moment they had been waiting for. The police had finally located their main suspect. However, just when they thought their worries were over, they witnessed something even more concerning. Larson seemed extremely paranoid and insecure about the presence of the detectives. His odd behavior only suggested that he had been hiding something from the detectives.
We've,
I just got here.
Okay.
I can call my girlfriend.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah. What, were you with your girlfriend tonight?
Yeah.
What time did you start hanging out with her today?
I left my house at like 7:30 to go up and get my headphones for my mom at work. I was angry that my mom took my headphones because I had to ride my ass all the way up on my bike on a hill.
Yeah. That's a
I
hike
just grabbed
from
my
here.
headphones, sat in Bigby, waited till 8. Then I rode around as I waited for my girlfriend to get out of work, and I just rode up there.
Oh, okay.
My mom's like, as I saw like a stretcher, and I was like, I really hope that isn't my mom on that stretcher because she's taken a couple of spills in the past couple of years. So.
Oh, really?
Despite his concern for his mom, detectives still suspected Larson of her murder. But just when it seemed that they were close to the killer, a small test would change the entire course of the investigation.
It's kind of a misty kind of rain, but there wasn't a ton of physical evidence right there on the scene, that we could track. All that physical evidence gets disturbed.
So in this particular case, there's no point in taking DNA at this point. What we did do is have gunshot residue tests taken of all 3 of them in the house. And when Laurie's son appeared at the house, we took gunshot residue from him. And it showed no gunshot residue on any of them.
With zero evidence found at Laurie's house, detectives started looking for clues in the neighborhood. Fortunately, CCTV footage found at a party store did catch a lead that could tie them to the killer.
What was the person doing that got shot?
I have no idea. They just found him on the sidewalk.
I think it's Laurie.
Alright, let's see how big
How about you guys out?
I don't think it's got anything. If it did, I think it's just out of range of the camera. So that's the problem.
Right. I see what that car does if it burns out or what it. Can you back that up so I can see if I can get a better look at that car?
Ready to ride by?
Yeah. What time would that be at? Like a darker colored 4-door?
Side of Lincoln towards First.
1634.
1634.
I'm in the party store looking at some video footage. Might be older, dark colored 4-door sedan right on the southeast corner of Lincoln and First. Looks like there might have been something going on there. The car went eastbound on First.
The CCTV footage caught a glimpse of a potential escape route that the killer might have taken. But even though they had substantial evidence on their table, it wasn't strong enough to catch the killer.
So there was a lot of kind of unknowns. Maybe they dropped a passenger off and they committed the act. And you kind of have to chase those things down because you don't know. What we do is just broadcast it over the radio. So our officers in the city here would have a chance of seeing it and maybe a partial plate, right? You just kind of try to connect the dots. As you can imagine, a small dark sedan or blue sedan, I mean, there's, thousands of them in the city, probably hundreds at least. So yeah, you can't stop every one of them. That's not reasonable by any means. So you just kind of give up on that.
The case was becoming increasingly frustrating. Despite several efforts made that entire night, it seemed impossible to find the killer.
The thing with this homicide is when you have a 50-year-old lady that's not a major drug user of any kind, she's not in a serious long marriage or domestic relationship. So early on, numerous different leads. We had a few people that lived with her and things didn't go well, but nothing that would lead us to believe that one of these people was a person would shoot her and execute her for what had taken place with them.
Detectives took another step ahead and reached out to Laurie's friends and relatives to see if she had any nemesis or conflicts with someone. It was their last chance to find out what went wrong that night. But the case stood still, as the family members struggled to find words to bid their last goodbye to Laurie amidst the challenging time.
My mom was generally a really caring person, really generous. I love my mom dearly. I was named family contact, so I had to take care of everything, you know, setting up the funeral. We were super blessed that the church that we had been going to when I was growing up, they helped with the funeral.
It didn't seem like she had any enemies, and the police by now had left no stone untouched to recover even the smallest piece of evidence.
I wouldn't exactly call it the case went cold, but we had kind of exhausted majority of leads in the case.
With no leads to follow and no potential suspects, Laurie's case joined the pile of many other cold cases. About 10 months later, on January 23, 2018, another tragedy took place around 10:30 p.m., not far from the spot where Laurie was shot dead. Officers found a male victim with multiple gunshot wounds outside of a home on 2nd Street, between Pine and Lincoln Avenues. He was taken to the hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. The victim was identified as 17-year-old Andre Hawkins. The detectives geared up to investigate the homicide, and this time, while inspecting the crime scene, they found something utterly shocking. Just like the last time, there were no bullet shell casings left behind. Moreover, further evidence from Andre's body suggested that Andre was shot using the same gun that had killed Laurie.
It appeared to match the same caliber, style of firearm from Laurie's case.
Since it was just a possible theory, detectives reserved it for later and focused on tracking the killer down. This time, there had been witnesses to the crime. A girl came forward and told the detectives that on the night of January 23, 2018, she and Andre had been hanging out with another friend when her ex-boyfriend showed up, and an altercation erupted between Andre and him. Andre and his friends wanted to de-escalate the situation and leave as soon as they could. All of them rushed to Andre's car, and just when he was about to hit the ignition, 3 shots were fired at him. The girl, who was also seated in the car with Andre, identified the shooter as 22-year-old Vicente Rodriguez Ortiz. With such solid information at hand, the detectives were inches away from nabbing the killer. Just the next day, in the afternoon of January 24, 2018, detectives arrived at the 1000 block Bridge Street Northwest, which was just 4 blocks away from where Andre was shot. They were able to track Vicente down.
In the city's 5th homicide of the year, they are identifying that victim as 17-year-old Andre Hawkins. 22-year-old Vicente Rodriguez Ortiz was arrested this afternoon, just 4 blocks away from the shooting scene.
He even tried to free himself and run away, but failed as a police dog chased him down and bit him. It was now time to get some answers. Investigators brought Vicente in for an interrogation to question him about Andre's murder. As the detectives got ready to question Vicente, he was asked to wait in the interrogation room. A camera in the interrogation room showed Vicente sitting quietly and shaking his leg nervously. And the detectives could never have imagined what he did next.
Prior to us actually beginning the formal part of the interview, he was attempting to suffocate himself and commit suicide in the interview room.
Vicente's frustration seemed to be increasing by the second, and soon, panic took over him.
Trying to kill yourself, man? It's not that bad, buddy. We'll be right back with you, all right?
If there was any confirmation the investigators needed of Vicente's guilt, this was it. A little later, when things had calmed down a bit, detectives entered the room and began the interrogation. They already knew that Vicente was overwhelmed by what was happening. It would be easy to break him and get a confession out of him, hopefully for both the murders.
We went in there, talked to him about what a bad choice that was, and kept him restrained for a few until we could go back in and officially start the formal interview.
We know you went through a very emotionally charged kind of thing. We're going to talk. We know things didn't go the way you meant them to go. Okay.
Vicente, I'm going to read your rights.
I was absolutely there to get confessions on both murders, but at the beginning, you're really wanting to focus on the Andre one, and you get them talking about that. Once you get them, as I call it, rolling and talking, and they give up one, it'll lead to another and to another, and it just becomes like a normal everyday conversation to them.
They presented Vicente with all the information and evidence they had on him. They told him that his ex-girlfriend had already talked to them, and they were aware of what he had done. All they wanted now was to hear the story from his perspective. After a moment of silence, Vicente started to talk. He didn't try to deny the allegations against him, and instead gave a confession describing what went down on the night of January 23rd, 2018.
We're going to have to come to some type of agreement here, or at least an understanding whether or not you want to act like a young adult or not. Talk to a lot of people. You're not an unintelligent person. You want to start over?
I forget.
Okay.
How long ago did you guys break up?
Oh.
You and your girlfriend.
I don't even remember that.
Things had been chaotic between Vicente and his ex-girlfriend. Their relationship had been on a downward spiral and was turning noxious day by day. But Vicente didn't want things to end between them. Vicente's girlfriend finally broke up with him, following one final argument just hours before Andre was shot.
And on that evening, what took place, Vicente had walked to this girlfriend's house and had seen her in a vehicle with a couple of female friends and a male friend of hers named Andre, and had become upset about her. They had broken up, but he was still upset that she was out in a car with another male.
And I want to hear a story that I can take with me to the prosecutor's office, where I can tell them, Vicente fucked up, but he's not a monster. Because what it looks like right now for you is not good at all. I think
you have a side of your story, and this is your opportunity to tell that side of the story.
Me and her texted from here and there, and we had like a little disagreement, argument, however, and after that, I can't really remember.
She cheating on you? Or did you think she was cheating on you?
It wasn't a thing.
You knew it?
Had you seen her with him before last night?
So you're pretty sure he was moving in on your girlfriend?
I saw it and I just...
Vicente was driven by rage and anger, but all hell broke loose when jealousy took over. Vicente told the detectives what happened moments before the tragedy took place.
Yeah, I got mad. I got mad at her because it's just like the person that she was. We all have our relationship.
What happened when you got over there?
When I got over there, only thing that I remember is that I started running towards the car.
How angry are you at that point? And 10 being the most angry you've been in your life.
I don't know how angry I was.
Okay.
I remember running up to her and I scared her. And I wasn't trying to scare her. I scared her. And then after I did that, I remember I was running.
Okay.
And my leg hurted.
The reason that you scared her is because you had a gun pointed at her head. That's why you scared her.
I pointed it at.
What happened then?
I was just so mad.
Were you more mad at her, mad at that guy? Who were you mad at the most? Your side.
I really can't say it was like a level of certain type of mad between everybody. I'll basically say I'm like the same amount between everybody here. I came back and yes, I shot her.
How many times do you remember shooting?
I shot her.
We know.
Vicente was now on the verge of down. He was visibly shaken. Tears rolled down his eyes as an expression of regret took over his face.
You can literally sometimes see suspects in the interview room like almost relax, like it weighs on them. In the course of his anger and rage that evening, he ended up shooting and killing Andre.
Having given a full confession of Andre's murder, Vicente thought that the nightmare was over for him. Little did he know that the detectives were not done with him yet. It was now time to bring up the murder of 50-year-old Laurie Lundeberg.
Once he confessed to the first one, I was feeling very strong that he was our murderer in both cases. Gives you a little more confidence that you're going to be able to get them to talk about any further crimes that you're wanting them to talk about.
Here's the weird thing about me talking to you today. I was already looking to talk to you.
What do you mean?
I had some other stuff going on. The prosecutor on another case I was working on. We're getting ready to talk to you anyway.
About what?
Well, you had a situation in March over there on Lincoln Street. You know what I'm talking about?
Are you trying to put that on me?
I'm not trying to put anything on you, but I know this. The same gun killed her that killed him.
Detectives began by asking Vicente some vague questions to see his response. It appeared as if he knew what the detectives were talking about. However, he responded with more questions, making it look like he was completely unaware of what was going on. Detectives were now done playing games. It was time to get direct and blunt with Vicente, and the words that came out of Vicente next sent chills down the spines of the detectives.
Throughout the course of interviews, you're going to hit speed bumps during the interview where something is going to trigger them, that they start to shut down. At that point, we felt extremely confident that he was the one that had killed Laurie.
I know a lot about Laurie Lundeberg. It's just like the other case. And I'm not surprised that that might be the same situation that happened the night that she got shot. You know what I mean?
I said, if you're just going to lie about it, you're not showing remorse. Don't start lying again and put yourself where you look like you're a liar to all these people.
We have the gun. The state lab can tell exactly which gun did what. Every bullet from every gun makes a microscopic thing. It's very good science. Okay.
I just saw her walking down the street. It was a lot going through my mind. She and yelled at me. And I was at the point where it was just like, I'm already going through a lot.
Months before Laurie was killed, Vicente and one of his friends had been Laurie's tenants. They both struggled with drug use and often got into arguments with Laurie. Eventually, these altercations turned physical, and Laurie kicked both of them out. And months later, Vicente did something purely sinister. Before fully confessing to Laurie's murder, Vicente explained that around the same time Laurie was murdered, he had found out that his girlfriend had been cheating on him. Trying to defend himself further, Vicente said that he had also been struggling with mental health issues at the time. With all his secrets laid bare, the detectives had everything they needed to send him to the court.
Vicente was charged in both of these homicides with open murder and was eventually convicted of first-degree murder in Andre's homicide, which in the state of Michigan will receive life in prison. In Laurie's homicide, he was charged with firearms charges and second-degree murder. And in that particular case, he was sentenced to 35 years minimum in prison.
At Vicente's sentencing, Laurie's family spoke their heart out, addressing the pain they had been through.
What could I do? See, I was someone my sister always came to for help. I was supposed to fix things. But how could I fix this? I couldn't. There was absolutely nothing I could do but cry and pace and rock back and forth. I can only imagine how empty a heart must be to have so little regard for life.
Laurie Lundeberg's death has left me incapable of focusing on daily tasks.
Andre's mother took the stand too to express her feelings about Vicente's cruel actions and left the courtroom emotional and teary-eyed.
I'll never get to see my son be married and have a family. And I couldn't see him walk across the stage and get his high school diploma.
It was a simple stroke of luck that led the detectives to solve the murders of Laurie and Andre. And while Vicente's conviction was an uplifting feeling for both families, a deep sense of grief still lingered upon them. All that remained were the memories of their loved ones. Do you really think Vicente told the whole truth about what led him to kill Laurie? Since there were no witnesses to Laurie's murder, could Vicente be altering the real story?